Hey everyone, my name is Adam, and I've had some things on my mind lately that I'd like to share with you today as we take a nice stroll through Elwyn. And as weird as it might sound, my hope is that I can help both of us today along the way. So, I was recommended several videos the other day by YouTube that really inspired me to try to reconnect with myself more again, and to get back into sort of a self improvement groove that I had lost over the last couple of years or so. A few of those videos were from a very new YouTuber named Acadian, who has a channel where he mixes discussions and talks about World of Warcraft with life. Whether that be on topics of improving yourself, the benefits of changing your perspective, or simply learning how to find enjoyment in places where most cannot or will not. It's a really great channel and you should definitely go check him out, but I've noticed this has been somewhat of a trend in recent years on YouTube, where we're starting to see loads of gamers in particular just hanging out in their respective game, chatting about what's on their mind in a very casual, open, and even in some cases vulnerable format. And while I've most certainly enjoyed this sudden increase of this type of content, as I'm sure many of you have as well, it somehow never once occurred to me that the dialogue presented in many of these videos could very well be just as much for the YouTuber posting them as it is for the viewers that watch them. Like an outlet that maybe they didn't have before, or perhaps a way to try something new in order to get out of a rut. And this random thought that I had after watching a few of these prompted me to reassess where I was in my life currently and notice the imbalances that I was hiding from myself in a way. And it also made me realize that maybe I can potentially help others too by working through my own thoughts and sharing them with the world. Let me try to explain more of what I mean. So, the past several years of my life have been pretty crazy. Not in a bad way, though, necessarily. And in fact, I suppose you could call it expected crazy, honestly. The short of it is, I went on my first real self improvement journey. I got married to an incredible woman, and then together had two amazing little boys. And if you've ever trotted down that path before, then you already know things have been understandably out of balance for us for a little while now. And while things are still really awesome with regards to the wife and kids, the additional context needed for the rest of this video lies within what was gained and then very quickly lost from that first journey I went on to connect with myself. So back in 2019, I made the decision to address some of my personal shortcomings and work towards improving simply as an adult, just like growing the hell up a little bit, learning how to adult, and also implementing systems and habits that would ideally make me better physically, make me feel better at least physically, mentally, and emotionally, and maybe even open up other opportunities elsewhere that maybe I just wasn't seeing before. So I tried out all the usual suspects. I worked out, I started reading books, I journaled, I meditated. I cut down on consumption of YouTube outside of watching TED Talks and self improvement videos. And I cut back on video games a lot outside of playing something like Mario Party with my wife. And I also worked on improving my memory during that time because that was another big sticking point with the people that were closest to me. I wasn't a very reliable person when I first started, and as stubborn as I was, and still kind of am, I guess, it eventually made sense to me, and I tried really hard to fix what was going on. And for a while, I was doing really, really good with everything that I was getting myself into. And when I say a while, we're talking about like a 2-year span or so. which might not sound like a lot to some, but when you're working as hard as you can each day to remain consistent and disciplined and motivated with a ton of different challenging goals, it was starting to wear on me a little bit. And that was part of the problem. 2 years of developing these habits, trying to cement them into the deepest corners of my mind, body, and soul, I thought I had it figured out. I thought I was at the point where these things were now just a part of my identity. I wasn't just trying to become a person that connected with themselves. I thought I was already there. 2021 comes around, we get married, we have our first kid, and nearly all of that progress I had made was gone within weeks. Literal weeks, just as if I had never even gone on that journey in the first place. Now it sounds bad when I lay it out like that, but just know that I am in no way suggesting that getting married and having kids is a gateway to unhappiness or self-hell, let's call it. Those moments have been the greatest I've ever experienced, and as a result, other amazing things came into my life too, in a way, to replace what I had lost from my first self-improvement journey. But, of course, as incredible as those experiences are, they come with their own set of challenges that are tough to overcome. And so over the last few years, I have gotten more used to being a husband and a parent and dealing with the day-to-day stuff that comes with those responsibilities. And now I feel like I finally have a window of opportunity to try to get back on track and figure out what I need for myself and what kinds of problems I should be looking to address now. And after thinking about everything that I had been going through, how I inevitably got here, and some of those videos I had mentioned watching in the beginning of the video, a few things popped into my head. And it wasn't anything new to me, really. But it was something I felt like I've just never been able to figure it out or understand how to get to the bottom of and to address. And that is, why do habits and systems fall off? Why can I not stick to these systems that I've been building for years now? 2 years of hard work and consistency were erased. And I didn't just lose the discipline or the muscles on my body, the energy levels, the improved memory and awareness and focus that I had gained from the habits that I had developed. I lost my why. I lost sight of my reasons for doing it in the first place. And the biggest contributor to that is I didn't do a good job of iterating on those habits that I had built. I didn't check in with those systems to make sure that what I was doing was still working for me and even working for the people around me. I got it into my head that I was going to push through the grind long enough to get to a point where I could just completely ignore it. Because if working out became second nature, why would I need to think about it anymore? Why would I need to try something new when I can just do the same routines over and over again? And get those amazing results that I was experiencing at the beginning of the journey. Why would I need to try out a different memory technique when I've got one that I know better than the back of my hand? And I could just go on and on with more examples, but the point I'm trying to make is that I failed to continue to expand upon what I currently had in place. I failed to remind myself on a consistent basis why I started this journey. I failed to put into place some sort of mechanism to prevent my hard work from dissipating. I tried to brute force my way through the resistance I was feeling from just the thought of change and evolving. which I'm sure many of us do. But I'm ready to try again, and I'm ready to try something new. And that is why I'm posting this video and starting this channel. I'm very grateful to have a few people in my life that I can talk to about anything, and while, I will continue to do so for many things to come and go throughout my life, I think it's time I tried talking to myself for a change. And you guys, I suppose. One of the other videos I came across recently featured a guy named Jim Kwik, who is most known for coaching people on how to have better memory and, more importantly, how to learn more effectively, how to solidify information better, at least. And perhaps his biggest calling card is the FAST technique, which acts as a 4-step process for learning new information, essentially. It's a really interesting tool to experiment with, and I recommend you check out some of his stuff for yourself. But the biggest step in this 4-step process that I myself have been missing this whole time is the last one. The T in FAST stands for teach what you learn. By teaching what you've studied or what you've worked on, you are creating a type of bond with that knowledge that you can't get by doing anything else. And it's not like you have to do this in front of a public audience or even in front of a friend or a family member. You could easily just do this in front of a bunch of stuffed animals if you wanted to. It still works the same way. But for me personally, I saw this as a huge opportunity to implement a new way to solidify these systems and habits that I've been trying to reconnect with, while also helping others by sharing my experiences. And by collecting my thoughts through writing first, which I've been doing a lot of recently, and then presenting them to others, I feel like I'm adding an additional layer on top of all of that, an additional layer of retention to help solidify what I've been thinking about, to help remind myself. And that's really it. The goal here is to help others while helping myself, because this topic, along with a bunch of others that I would love to cover, is stuff that I need to be reminded of from time to time. And it's stuff that has not yet been cemented in my mind, stuff that hasn't gotten a chance to root itself into my being. And I feel like putting it in a video format is better for me than a bunch of, random notes in a journal, for example. I'm gonna go ahead and turn around here. We're only level 13. Let's avoid Red Ridge for a little while. But yeah, I feel like cementing it in video format is going to help me come back, kind of review what I was thinking at the time, lessons I can learn from the thoughts that I currently have. And I also just feel like I have some stuff to work through, as everyone does. And I'm hoping that this can help someone out there. I have a great support team with my wife and some good friends of mine as well. And that time spent interacting and talking with them is very important to me. But this gives me a chance to sit down and connect with myself in ways I've never had before. And I encourage you to find a way to connect with yourself and share what you've learned with the people around you. Or if you can, the whole world. I appreciate you guys listening in today. I hope this idea and this message helps you as much as I feel like it's helping me right now. And yeah, stay safe. And I hope to see you in the next one.